Hey guys, let's talk a little bit about flat earth, pathway of the sun. And one good example how to understand perspective is the rainbow. With the rainbow, if you see a clear rainbow, it looks like this. You have a curve and it looks like it's a half circle, right? It's like an arc. But this occurs when you are standing on earth and you're looking at the rainbow and the sun is from this perspective behind you. Okay? You're standing on earth, the sun is above you, and then you're looking into the opposite direction of the sun, and then you get that rainbow arc because of perspective. Many don't know that the rainbow is actually a circle, it's not an arc. But when you change your altitude, when you change perspective in relationship to the sun, then you're getting the circular rainbow. And this makes you understand perspective a little bit better. And I'm going to show you the circular rainbow. You don't see actually the full circle, but that's supposed to be a full circle if the camera could capture the rest here. Okay, this is the rainbow visible or taken a picture from an airplane. Because you changed your altitude, you're not standing on Earth anymore, and the sun may be behind you, and you're looking downwards to get that image. And you see the full circle because you're not standing on Earth anymore, that is actually blocking your view. You know, the earth, the ground underneath you is blocking your view. It is matter, and it then creates the illusion of an arc that the rainbow has, although in truth it is a circle. And it changes due to your location in relationship to the sun. So it's all about perspective. It is a good example to understand perspective in general, how perspective changes things and creates illusions. So when we go back to this, we don't see the full circle of the rainbow because, again, the earth is blocking our view here. If we then change our altitude, slowly we would see more of that circle of the rainbow until we see the full circle of the rainbow, and that is related to our position in relation to the sun, which creates perspective. And this gets us into why we see the sun rise and set throughout the day, although it is just hovering above us on a circle. And we're not living on a ball, we're living on a flat earth, and the sun is hovering above in a circle, but we, due to our location, because we are close to earth, witness an arc in the sky with the sun. For example, here, we stand in the middle in this graphic, and then the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And due to the seasons, this happens at a lower point or at a higher point, and there will be more sunlight during the day or less sunlight, time-wise. Everybody knows this, but why do we see an arc? Because of the relationship, the perspective through which we see the sun moving above our heads. So we stand in the middle here, and the sun is coming from the east to the west, although it is actually above us all the time while we stand on flat earth. It traces its circles, it's hovering above flat earth on an altitude, keeping its altitude, but we perceive it as changing its altitude because of the perspective. Okay, we are close to earth, then the earth at some point is blocking our view, and the radius is 5 kilometers. You cannot see any further, because then there's earth and it's blocking our view. And that's why we don't see the full circle of the sun, and at some point we have night. And because of perspective, when it's night, because of perspective, that's the illusion, the sun will be down there, for example following this circle, but in truth it is obviously up there somewhere but far away, above flat earth, okay? But to your perspective, you then get this tilt. So the tilt of the earth in the heliocentric model is actually just a tilt of the sun's circle to your perspective, to your location, and to your relation to the sun. Okay, so you are basically the earth in this heliocentric model, although it's not heliocentric, helios, sun. The earth is flat and the sun hovers above that thing, okay, above you and all the other beings. And then you get a tilt for the way you perceive the sun, for that circle. Okay? That's the illusion. Because in truth, the sun just keeps its altitude, it's coming and going, but the way you perceive it is this arc in the sky, just like with the rainbow, but you don't see the full circle because of perspective. Okay? And then you get that. So there are many things that come together here. Trying to understand perspective. Again, remember, you have a horizon because things that are beneath you, under your feet, for example, the earth, is ascending towards eye level, slowly. The further it goes away, at some point it cannot go any further. Okay, so there comes a meeting point with your eye level, and that's the horizon. It's about 5 kilometers or 3 miles away from you, and it's a circumference that surrounds you, and you are inside that bubble or bowl, so to say, standing in the middle, and you're dragging this whole thing around wherever you go. Okay, so then things come and go. Airplanes, stars, and the sun, the moon, they are faster. They change their location very quickly compared to your own location. You probably stay in the same city or somewhere. And then what you get is this sort of arc, and it has a tilt to it. And depending on the season, because when the sun is further away from you, it's descending, and then the tilt goes with it, okay? That elusive tilt, it does not really exist, because the sun in reality is just hovering above flat Earth on the same altitude. But again, the way we perceive this whole thing is an illusion. And so, what people have to understand is that the ball theory, the heliocentric model, is based off of, or sourced off, of the illusion, the way we perceive reality. So when people believe that to be the truth, they are being led astray, they are being fooled, because it's an illusion. Our eyes fool us, the way we perceive reality is fooling us, and then people take that and say that's the truth. Well, it's not like this. You have to detach from the way you perceive things and use your spirit to think about these things, and then you get behind what is actually true. Right? That's happening with every illusion that you're facing. There could be a Fata Morgana, for example, and that's considered an illusion. On hot roads, you think that there's water, although the road is very dry because it's very hot, but there is no water. It just creates the illusion as if there was water, okay, because it's the heat on the asphalt that creates this illusion. So then you go there and you see, okay, the truth is that there's just asphalt and it's being heated, and then you know the truth. But if you don't go there, you don't figure out the truth, you would stay in your position and you would believe, well, there is water on that road, and you will go and make a whole belief system out of that. And then the people, masses, the whole world, believes in that theory, and they are being led astray because you keep them there, right? You keep them within that lie that they believe in based off of an illusion. And they look at the illusion and say, well, it must be true because we're all seeing that water on the road from our position, right? So it must be true. And that's how far people think, but they have to think a little bit further and really, for themselves, sort of go there, look, is it really the truth? And then they would figure out, well, it's just a Fata Morgana. It's not actually water. It's just an illusion that is being created. The way we perceive things when there is a road and there is hot air hovering above the road, and it creates this illusion of liquid, right? As if there was water, but it's not. And the same with the sun in the sky and the moon and the stars and anything that is above the sky that creates the illusion as if we were living on a ball, when it's not the truth. Everything is just hovering above us. It keeps its altitude, and then from there, the way we perceive everything, because of the way our eyes work, we cannot zoom, for example, and even if we could zoom, we are still bound to perspective because we do not change our location. So there comes a meeting point between the earth you're standing on and how far you can look, okay, with your eye level, and then it creates a natural barrier through which you cannot look through. Again, because we have those eyes that cannot look through certain things. can look through glass but cannot look through walls, cannot look through earth or oceans. And that's why there comes a natural barrier and the sun disappears behind that elusively, not in truth. It does not sink in truth. It's just an illusion. And the people would have to go there, see it for themselves, through the spirit, to say, okay, it's an illusion, it's not the truth. But so many just stay with the illusion, and they say, well, that was taught to us, that was told by teachers in school, they got paid for it, it was all official. And that's what's keeping them trapped, actually. They take the illusion and call it truth. They take a deception, they take a lie, and they call it truth. And another thing about figuring out what is true and what is false is when you come from many different angles. So how else you can look at Earth is from another angle is Antarctica. And they tell us because we live on a globe, we live on a ball. By the way, the word globe, Globe, comes from Anglo-Saxon. It's rooted in Anglo-Saxon German, which means Glaube, Globe, which is in English belief. So the people believe in believing, so to say. When they believe in the ball earth, in the globe, it's a belief. It's not the truth, it's not reality, it's a deception. So, back to the Antarctica. Antarctica means Arctic is in the north, Antarctica is in the south. Arctic comes from Greek, means bear, and that has to do with the stars. The Big Dipper, for example, was once called the bear. That's why you get the Arctic in the north, because the Big Dipper star constellation is in the north. It's turning around the polar star, Polaris, and so the Antarctica is the south pole, the ice at the south. So, according to the ball theory, the Antarctica must be a continent. And in today's world, we have the technology to go into space at least a few hundred meters, a few kilometers, not into outer space, that's also fake space deception, but we can go to certain altitudes and we can take pictures of continents. Yet they still haven't managed to take a picture of Antarctica because it does not exist. And when you type in image continent Antarctica in Google, all you get is some graphics. Nothing is real here. Okay? That's an angle from which you can look at this and say, with today's technology, it is easily possible. But they can't do it because it does not exist. All they can give you is fake images, CGI renderings, paintings, drawings,